So, of course, as usual, I promise consistency and then immediately disappear again. But this time I have a good reason. I got sick. I went to urgent care. They gave me like the COVID and the flu test. It's neither of those. So we're gonna blame it on all of the seasonal weather changes and hope that it goes away with some Zyrtec. My depression, however, not budging. Fell into a really bad hole. We hated that. And so far, because of it, I have missed 5 days of work. Not all in a row, but my paychecks are very upset with me. I mentioned a few months ago that me and my partner did work things out and that we are planning to move. That's still going. That was months ago. Why are you still looking for a place? Because we've been applying to places and been getting rejected. It's not our income, it's mostly our credit. Because when I was 18 and didn't know how a credit card worked, I racked up a whole lot of debt that I'm still paying off. And even though his dad is a realtor, somehow no one thought it was important to let him know that when you close out a credit card and don't use credit for a while, they're like, your score goes down. Why don't they teach that in schools? That would actually be a lot more helpful than the Pythagorean theorem. Any which way. So we tried applying by ourselves. Obviously didn't go very well. We tried applying with a cosigner. That was its own issue because my mother likes to make things as difficult as possible. Why do they need to know where I live? So that they know that you live in this country. Why do they need to know where I work? Because the job of a cosigner is if we can't make the rent that you help out with that, and they need to know that you have the money. Why do they need my supervisor's email? To confirm that you work at the place you said you work at. That's what pay stubs are for. People on the internet know how to make fake pay stubs. Honestly, people on the internet also know how to make fake emails, so I'm not sure why that's, like, the contingency they're using. But it is what it is, and I don't make the rules. Alright. Anyways, so I'm still working on finding a place. We did apply to a place recently, and his mom is co-signing for us. Hopefully that goes better. We're waiting to hear back. I also mentioned a few months ago that we're waiting on what I have been cautiously calling my stepson. It's a very complicated thing. It's not complicated at all. We weren't together. He got with somebody. Baby's on the way. I'm not holding it against him. Things like that happen all the time. I don't do things like that because I don't like men like that. I like him. I just don't like men. So we're figuring that out. He's due soon, so we're gonna have 2 kiddos living with us. And in the meantime, I'm left trying to figure out if it's just the dosage of my meds that's making all of this feel like the end of the world, or if I need new ones altogether. That being said, the state of the world sucks. Israel still sucks. The US government still sucks. ICE still sucks. And them attempting to make trans people out to be, what are they calling it? Nihilistic something, or I should read up on it so I actually know what the wording they're using is, because that's kind of important. But as someone who does not pass for anything other than femme, I think I'm going to be using that privilege for a little bit longer. Does that kind of suck? Yeah, it blows. But let's be so for real. If they're going to make it harder for people to exist, and I don't pass well enough for them to call me out on it, I'm one of the people that could use that to make it harder for them to do the things they're trying to do, or at least attempt to. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's been the last few howevers. Depression, needing meds. I do have an appointment for that, by the way. That's in a couple weeks. They had me on a wait list because, well, everyone has psychiatric problems now. Depression is whooping our behinds. Still trying to move. Hopefully that gets in order. And now the crushing reality that I have gone from helping to raise a small child since she was a toddler to being in a child's life since they were an infant. And understanding the dichotomy of that is very different. I don't think I've lived with an infant since my little sister was born, and we're only 5 years apart. So I didn't do much to help out with that. And the hope is that I get my shit together quickly enough that I can actually be of some help. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. What's going on with you guys?